Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome one and all to another one of my live streams. I'm overjoyed to have in the virtual studio, all the way from Romania, would you believe, Alexander Tinsman of Rexweb.
Thank you very much, Gareth.
A pleasure. Rexweb is a company that focuses on getting you leads, but it also has a very, very laser focused ideal of the kind of clients that they know they can help. So, Alexander, first of all, welcome. And second of all, let's talk about, first of all, what Rexweb is there to achieve. And then let's talk about the kind of clients that you can really help get those leads they sought after.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Well, what we focus on, we don't focus on all firms. We just focus on tax and accounting firms because that's what we feel is always needed. And so that's an industry that they don't ever really do marketing or outreach. They kind of rely on this trusted triangle of referrals, so to speak. And it's nice to have referrals. I mean, word of mouth is always fantastic, but it can be inconsistent at times.
Yeah,
and
it's very feast or famine if you rely on just referrals.
Right. I mean, and even now, I had recently come across a study that had mentioned that even with word of mouth referrals, people still go online. 60% of those people still go online to double check that the referral that they got from someone else is actually legitimate and valid.
Yeah, they're looking for authority, aren't they not? They're looking for to know that that person, that company represents a safe pair of hands to do business with.
Exactly. And we take a bit of a different approach than most other firms. Other firms would say, "Oh yeah, welcome everyone. Come on in. We'll service you." And we know that in the digital marketing world, you can't guarantee results for every Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes in. There are certain parameters that can help your digital marketing, and those parameters are within the control of the potential client as well. So we always make sure that we look for that before we agree to work with a potential firm.
Okay, excellent. So within those fields, those kind of clients, I suspect you go for a company size, really, because as you said, you can't help everybody. And I suspect, what are we looking at? From about 3 up to, say, 20 or 30 in size? Is that the right sort of sweet spot for you?
Right. It's the right sort of sweet spot. And of course, there are a lot of single person, accountants out there. And that's fantastic. I mean, heck, if you whatever size firm that you want to have, 1 person, 2 person, 3 people, 500 people, that's totally up to you. However, the service that we provide and the leads that we are able to provide to our clients, they're best served when those leads can be contacted immediately. And we do have automation processes to help facilitate that contact. But ultimately, I mean, people buy from people. So
yeah, a human has to be involved. A human has to be involved. And the gold is in the follow-up, is it not? And the only way you can do that is if you act upon these carefully sourced leads that you are producing. So would you talk to me, because I know that you said to me earlier offline that one of the most critical things that a business needs to have thought about and have in place or be in the process of putting in place is Google My Business. Would you
right. So a Google My Business profile is something that we absolutely look for in our clients because we live in a digital world. Everyone has a digital footprint. I mean, there are very, very few people and businesses that do not have that. And if they don't, it's a very conscious decision to not have that. And the reason why a Google My Business profile is necessary is because it allows for Google to index your business. It allows your business to show up on search results on Google Maps, and you can see just normal analytics for your business and how it's performing over the course of its online life, so to speak, its online career. And so if you don't have that, we can't set that up for the client. That's out of our hands. And so when we contract to work with a client, we want to get right down to business right away and get them the results because that's what they're paying us to do. And so we feel that we need to be very clear and upfront with our clients and say, hey, look, we need to have a Google My Business profile. And if you want to run Facebook ads or Instagram ads, you need to have an Instagram and or Facebook business page set up, because that just helps facilitate the process of running ads and getting them leads. And on the Google side of things, if the person wants to set up a Google My Business profile, it can take up to 3 months in order to get that sorted. And so if they contract us and say, oh, hey, can you set up our Google My Business profile? I'll look at them and I'll say, oh, okay, well, that's 3 months that you're paying us to do effectively nothing. And while that would be nice, I don't feel that that's correct in order to share that with the client. So so we don't just accept, every Tom, Dick, and Harry. We do our due diligence, and we're very clear with our clients and saying, hey, we really want to help you, but these are things that we need to have you have in place first, and then we can have a relationship that we can develop further.
So the focus of this is not just to get cold, untested, untried leads, but to have it so once the lead is passed over, they know that someone's going to be contacting them, and they know that there is potentially a business conversation to be had. Yes.
Right. Well, it's a two-part recipe, so to speak. So part one is that the firm needs to have a product that works. They need to have some sort of viability, right? An easy way to think about it is, what's your number one selling product? If you have a hot dog stand, obviously you're selling more hot dogs than you are cinnamon buns, right? Because you're a hot dog stand. That's what you do. Right. If you're an accounting firm, you have maybe individual tax prep. That's your bread and butter. Out of all of the products, that one thing that you're selling sells the most, just for example, right? And then on top of that, if people already like your business, and if they like what they're doing, and if they're seeing it online, for example, in reviews that are on Google Maps, right? Or people are liking their Facebook business page, right? Those are already the necessary tools that you need in order to garner hot and warm leads from a digital marketing perspective. There's a second way you can think about it, which I actually prefer it this way, is if you think about baking a loaf of bread, right? You can either get pre-made flour and you can make a loaf of bread in however long it takes you to make a loaf of bread, 90 minutes to bake or a couple hours or something like that. Or you could get the seeds and have someone tell me, okay, you have to plant those seeds, harvest the crop, grind it, crush it into meal, flour, then create the recipe, bake the loaf of bread, all in 90 minutes. You can't do that in 90 minutes. It takes at least an entire season to grow a fresh crop and then to make that loaf of bread.
Right. So you can't shorthand that at all. Right.
Well, what we're educating our clients on is that let's get you to the flower stage first, the proverbial flower stage. And then from there, we can skyrocket those results because all of the pieces are in play. And we'll handle that while those accounting firms focus on what it is that they do best, which is delivering top quality service to their clients.
Right. And this sort of process, I mean, give me a timeline, because I believe you've got a challenge out there, which is to do with 90 days.
Oh yeah. So we can get you results within 90 days. I think we can get those results in 90 days, or we work for free until you do, and I'll say this, I don't think that anyone should just hire someone based on like, oh, hey, we guarantee you these 10 clients, because if they guarantee that, then that's not the case. But because we're more meticulous in our screening process and we want to help businesses reach that point,
right,
we feel comfortable making that guarantee of we're getting you results within 90 days because we have all the ingredients. It's all there. It's just primed and ready to go.
It's critical that people understand that it's a process, don't they? It's not just something that you, and it's a process where people gradually get to the point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean it's, and also too for running ads in Google PPC or just on meta ads. There's also usually a 6 to 8 week kind of sandbox period, I like to call it. So even before you establish, or even after you've established your business on Google Maps and Google Search, and let's say you have a Facebook business page or whatever, it'll still take an extra 6 to 8 weeks for those initial set of ads to garner any significant data and then to be able to optimize that. It's a patient waiting game. And so if you're just, a one-man or a two-man firm with no online presence and you are expecting results right out of the gate, it's not going to happen. And so we definitely want to make sure that we're being truthful and honest and authentic with all of our prospective clients, because the last thing that we want to do is to give someone false hope and steal their money. We don't think that's ethical. That's not right. And so I would much rather be very straightforward, direct, and honest with everyone who comes through our door.
It's I think, as you quite rightly say, honesty is by absolutely the best policy. And I think people need to understand that you are very focused on this sweet spot. You're very focused on this vertical, i.e., tax and accounting firms of that kind. Which means that the more focused you are, the more likely that the leads that you get are going to be focused as well.
Oh, 100%, 100%. I always come across other marketing agencies who they offer a plethora of services. They have content creation and social media management and email marketing. And don't get me wrong, I mean, it makes me jealous that we don't do those things. However, I'm a firm believer in the fact that you can either be a master of one or just a jack of none. So you can kind of be mildly average at everything, or you can be very good at one particular thing. And if you look at some of the most inspirational figures in the world today and also throughout history, they were very good at one particular thing.
Incredible. I think it only behooves me to say that I'm very proud to say that Alexander is working with us and we're helping promote him. But it's incredible that there is very few other lead gen companies in your space. I just don't see them. And I was actually doing a cast run. I wouldn't say there are none, but there are lots of generalized lead gen companies, very few that have reduced their focus down to a particular vertical. I think that's not so much brave, but I think it's tactically brilliant, because it means that if you're an accounting firm and you're looking for ways of promoting yourself and getting new leads in, you'll much more, what I would have thought, want to work with a business who's made it known that their focus is you, and not only that, but companies of your size. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, I like it because it almost plays into every single business. Every business starts doing one thing, and then all of a sudden they find themselves doing so many other things. Yes. And I think that accountants are really great at being accountants and financial advisors and tax advisors. Would I hire my accountant to build my house? No, because that's not what they're specialists in. They are great with financials. They're great with numbers. They're great with financial advice, financial planning. I am good with lead generation. That's what I do. I get you leads so that way you can focus on doing what is the best for you and what's easiest for you, which is accounting.
So I think on that note, I need to say thank you so much for my esteemed guest for helping us understand a little bit more about why Rexweb is so hyper focused on what it's doing, and of course to wish them only remarkable continued success. For anyone out there, the best place to find Alexander would be where?
Rexweb.media.
Rexweb.media. I think that probably bears repeating. So Rexweb.media. to find out more. Let's try. I'm going to shove that up on the screen just to make sure it's. Oh gosh, I completely missed. I do apologize. I put a comma in there. There you go. That's live television for you. There we go. Get it right this time. So if you're trying to find out more information, the place to go will be rexweb.media and speak to Alexander. He'll be only too pleased to explain just how within 90 days you'll have leads that you can convert. And his boast is, if within 90 days they don't have that for you, they'll work for free until they do.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Alexander, for taking time out today. And to all of you out there, I know it's the weekend, but try and keep your feet on the ground. Reach for the stars, wear sunscreen, and look after that mental health. Bye-bye now.
Thanks, Gareth. Bye-bye.